So all the buyers, be aware, you have to do it. You should definitely contact, because you have to hire a lawyer at the end as well,
At the
right?
end. So see, consult with the lawyer, consult with the realtor, and then the mortgage broker.
If we check title, right, before 15 days before, as well as I think before closing as well, just a couple of minutes before transferring the title. So then why do we take title insurance, and what is it? So what are the things that someone should ask? Let me consider myself as a first time home buyer. What are the things I should ask before hiring a lawyer? Hi everyone, welcome to the Naveen Chopra show. Today we have Mr. Balraj here, who is a lawyer. He runs a firm that deals in immigration, real estate, criminal, and family law. Welcome Balraj to our show.
Thank you, Mr. Chopra, for having me here. And it's a pleasure meeting you and to be on your show.
Pleasure is all mine, Balraj. Just wanted to see, Balraj, how long you've been practicing this?
I run a multi-practicing law firm since almost now 5 years. And if we calculate my experience in the total law field is, I've been practicing in India as well in the High Court of Chandigarh. And I run my own practice there for almost 3 years in India as well.
So when did you come to Canada?
I landed somewhere about December 2014.
2014. Okay, it's been 10 years, right?
10 years.
10 long years, though, right?
Definitely 10 long years of struggle.
So coming from a background where you were a lawyer in India as well.
Yes.
So how long you worked in India as a lawyer?
For almost 3 years. 3 years.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah. And I was running my own practice there. It's very different than what here is in Canada. We run our own firms out there as a sole practitioner. And, I started in 2010 and I did practice there till almost end of 2013.
Okay, and
Then I moved to Canada.
Yeah. So it's do you like Canada in overall?
Definitely. That's the reason
You moved
moved here.
So you're back from Chandigarh only?
No, my background is from a small city from Punjab, Mocha.
Okay.
And but my education, most of my education is from Chandigarh, and then I did practice as a lawyer as well.
And the other thing I wanted to see, coming onto the real estate part. So when we do a deal, like as a real estate agent, I do a deal, we show the property, we get the deal done. What's the point? Where do we need a lawyer in terms?
So technically, I will say from the perspective of a buyer, not from a real estate or as a realtor's perspective, but as a buyer's perspective. I think they should involve the lawyer at very initial stage when they develop the thought of buying a property, because there are few things, the contracts they are entering through the realtors, those contracts should be reviewed. They should discuss the possibilities, which the risk they can avoid by discussing all the things what is in their mind with the lawyer.
So basically, this is a myth that a person need to hire a lawyer when he need to review status certificate or at the time or when the deal become firm. So you have to hire from the beginning, so that even when you are coming in contact with the real estate agent, you are signing a contract or something.
Yes.
You should get it reviewed beforehand.
Beforehand, yeah, because you are entering into any contract. That contract has to, either you are smart enough to review that contract yourself, else get it reviewed from your lawyer. Even the contract you enter with the realtors as well.
Okay, it's basically safeguard your interest, right?
It safeguards your interest. It's something you do as a buyer. You don't get surprised on the later date, like what kind of document I have signed and what kind of damages it would cost me if I back out of that particular contract.
Okay. So from the initial day, from the day you come in a contact with the real estate agent, you sign a contract, you get it reviewed, and after that, when you put an offer, also you should get it reviewed, or like how?
So once you put an offer, I always recommend to put a condition for lawyer review, if not for like 5 days or at least for 2 or 3 days, so that you can share your contract, the offer you have put with your lawyer. He can review the same, and then at least you should be satisfied with what all is coming on your way.
Okay.
and if any changes needs to be made into the contract.
So all the buyers, be aware, you have to do it. You should definitely contact, because you have to hire a lawyer at the end as well,
At the
right?
end.
So it's better to do it
Yeah,
at the
at the
beginning, so that you go through the process and you know what you are
what
signing
you're
on to.
saying. Because sometimes what happens is, in few of the files we see clients has already signed a contract, they have agreed to the terms which they shouldn't have agreed, which might cause them damage on the later date or even after closing. So if you review those terms, those conditions with your lawyer, at least your lawyer can safeguard your interest in those ones.
And what about we say a lot of, like, I normal term, due diligence.
Due diligence,
What's the
yes.
due diligence as a lawyer, or what as a lawyer you have to do to make sure you're doing your due diligence?
So in real estate, when we are talking about real estate. So I will just mention about real estate due diligence part. So once the contract is signed, the lawyer reviews your contract and everything. He explains you about the terms and the conditions, and then the next part comes is the due diligence regarding the property, regarding the business, regarding the assets which you are purchasing. So due diligence, we do searches on the properties, we do searches on the seller's name, buyer's name. So that's a part of due diligence. Once everything is clear, we do send requisitions to the other side lawyer if we have any concerns, any questions on anything which might affect the title of the property or the title of the business, right? So those things are always considered. Those things are done by the lawyer.
Okay, and you mentioned something related to title, right? So what is like search related to title search, what we call, and is it done by the lawyer, or
It's
like?
done by the lawyer. Yes, it is done by the lawyer. And when probably you would have seen, definitely I know you know about it. Once the contract is signed, there you guys put a date for title search.
15 days before
15
normally.
days, sometimes it's 20 days.
Yeah.
It varies contract to contract. So by that date we could do complete our title search, and we do our requisitions.
So title search is basically looking into the title of the property.
Title of the property, the way it can be affected, any litigations, liens, the mortgages, whatever is registered, so that can be, we know about them
So
ahead
that
of
later
time.
on it doesn't cause
It
any
doesn't
issue.
cause any problem, because the title, the title is transferred, it should be clean and clear. That
Okay.
should be transferred to the new buyer.
But I want to ask you one question. Like, it said, if we check title, right, before 15 days before, as well as I think before closing as well, just a couple of minutes before transferring the title. So then why do we take title insurance, and what is it?
Title insurance comes as like as a protection. Sometimes some things are not registered, some things pop up on the later date. Just for an example, some we see this issue pretty common. The sellers, they say they have paid particular amount of taxes, but eventually then the city, they sent them the letters that there were overdues and all those things. Those is one kind of thing which title insurance protects. There are multiple things which title insurance protects.
Okay, so that it's a safeguard, right? Like, for, and what's the
is.
cost around of like title insurance?
It depends. It varies. It
Okay.
varies. And but the only thing is, when a title insurance is done, the title insurer, they do provide their invoice.
Okay.
So which clients can
everything is
always
crystal
see
clear, right?
with their
Yeah.
lawyer, and they can review it.
Okay.
It's pretty transparent.
Okay, and if we are talking about GTA area, so what's the like, what's a thing someone what's the normal price range for the service for a real estate lawyer? Where does it vary?
See, I mean, this is a question that depends on firm to firm.
Okay.
This is their personal choice.
There is no
There is no
particular,
particular
estimate,
criteria.
right? Like
Every firm, every lawyer have their own set criteria for
criteria,
the
okay.
fees, for the services they are providing.
Okay, so it's there is nothing in like it depends,
It
right?
depends. It depends. It's just when choosing your lawyer, don't choose by seeing the fees. Just choose how able he is, how capable he is, how brilliantly he will defend your interest.
Yeah. So what are the things that someone should ask? Like, as I think, like, let me consider myself as a first-time home buyer. What are the things I should ask before hiring a lawyer?
So basically, just fix a meeting with your lawyer, and whatever comes into your mind, whatever the questions you have, as many as questions you have regarding the property, regarding the whole process, just ask your lawyer. But specifying few questions would be regarding the searches, regarding the, definitely you will, the first and foremost thing you will be discussing the fees, what he will be
Yeah.
charging, right? And what other charges will be included in the transaction, and what other charges are covered under his fees, what is not covered under his fees.
Okay.
And definitely lawyer should be keeping you informed of each and every step of during the whole transaction.
Okay. So basically keep into mind, like, okay, ask them if there is, everything is included in this price, the fees, like if there's
What
any
all
additional
is it?
administration fees or any other fee that's going to be added.
Yeah.
So you should discuss with the
Discuss
lawyer
with the
beforehand, right?
beforehand.
That's
So that you don't get surprises on the later date.
Yeah.
Right? And those things are always there. It's better to have open conversation with your lawyer.
And when we buy a condominium, like condominium, it could be a condominium townhouse, it could be a condominium apartment. So there generally, as a real estate agent, we put a condition of a status certificate. I'm asking you as a layman, I'm not asking you as a real estate agent. What is status certificate and what's the importance of that?
So status certificate is a certificate that states about the position, the financial position, it gives the information about any legal proceedings which might the condominium corporation that might be facing. So we see sometimes realtors or the clients, they just get paranoid. Oh, the corporation, the lawyer tells them the corporation has a litigation against them, but I think they should ask more about the litigation, like how much amount the litigation is for. So what I do is I distribute that amount into the particular number of units and just let the client know, will this affect you or not. So then let the client decide if they still want to go with that or not. Right?
Okay.
So status certificate is always compulsory. I think in any condominium purchase,
You should definitely check it, right?
review the status certificate with the lawyer.
Okay. And it should be done with the lawyer or a normal person, or
Again, it's your personal
It's your
choice.
person.
Yeah, but
it's-
I think it should be done with the person who is
Yeah.
from that field.
Yeah. Even if you're buying a new condominium or something like a 2-3 years old condominium, you still should check status certificate every time, right?
Every
That's
time.
the advice we can give.
The status certificate should be the latest, not older than a month.
Okay.
It should be at least whenever you get a status certificate, it shouldn't be 30 days older.
Okay. It should be
Less
most
than 30
recent,
days,
right?
yes.
Okay, less than 30 days. That's also the point to be
Yeah.
considered, right, with this.
You can't just bring 1-year-old status certificate and tell the corporation is in good standing. It should be the latest.
Okay.
Minimum 30 days.
And what's the difference between if I am a buyer and a seller? What's the major difference between them as a lawyer perspective, like as a seller's lawyer and as a buyer lawyer? What all
So-
things as a buyer lawyer?
See,
It's different from the
being a
seller.
buyer's lawyer, there are more due diligence things which are involved. As a seller's lawyer, those things are not there. But eventually, it's almost the similar type of work they do. But the obligation of doing the due diligence part is less on the
Seller side, because on the buyer
When
side we
you're
have to
acting
do
as
more
on the
of
seller.
searches, and
Yes,
we have to
searches.
see like if someone is acquiring that property,
Yeah.
is there
It's a buyer beware concept.
Okay.
It's buyer beware concept. It's all over the world. The buyers has to be aware whatever they are purchasing.
Okay.
Right.
And in terms of when we see what's the most strangest or thing? Can you give an example at the closing time if something happened like that delayed a closing or something? There's a lien on the property, or there is something like a court issue or an order that has delayed the closing. Some experience or something.
The recent one I faced an issue was where the client assumed the tenants in the
Oh.
agreement, and for a month, and I was totally against it. I explained that situation to my client, like, what if your tenant does not vacate the property after 1 month? You will not get the possession. So, but unfortunately, he already entered into an agreement, through the realtor without reviewing it with me, and that contract is binding.
So they might get stuck with
They
that.
might get stuck. There is a possibility, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing I always tell, like whatever you're signing, just review with your lawyer, even if it's a small contract. Just there's no harm, there's no pain in sending it to your lawyer, spending couple of amount
Couple
on
of
it, and
$100,
then
yeah.
just be at peace, peace and secure.
It's just like prevention is better than cure, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So when we talk about as an since we brought the tenant thing in, so when one, because I generally ask the question, right? Whoever have experience in this thing. So what are the things you should consider before giving your property on rent? As a lawyer, what do you suggest?
Giving on rent, I don't deal with the landlord tenant things, but uh, it's just check the Equifax of the tenant, get references from their previous landlords, get reference letters from them, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, so the work references, personal references, and
Yeah,
the previous
work,
landlord and
previous
everything,
landlord,
right?
all those
So
things.
that's a major thing
Yeah.
you should consider, right?
That's the part which I don't deal with though.
Okay,
But
but
yeah, like
it's a
as
general, right?
in general, I'm suggesting like all those things should be
Yeah.
done,
Okay.
right?
And the other thing I was looking into, there are a lot of things like people are not clear about what are the tax implications in terms of non-resident buying a property. Are there anything like if someone is exempt from it? Are there any like
Yeah,
particular cases?
so definitely there government has given few exemptions in NRST, and it depends on case to case, each file to file. Like there are exemptions for the protected person, exemptions for the spouse, exemptions for the people nominated in Ontario nominee program. But yeah, again, it's individual to individual, file to file.
Okay.
It's better if you have that kind of situation, discuss with the lawyer, get his expert advice on that, and then proceed with
Yeah,
the file.
it's because people believe, okay, I'm on work permit, my husband is PR, or like I am on my spouse is PR, or I have the Ontario, I have to wait till PR to get a property. Both of us should be
No,
PR.
either
So
if,
there could be,
if
yeah,
either one of them is PR from the spouses, definitely
they can go
they
forward
can
and
go
buy a
forward.
property.
Yeah, they are exempted.
Okay, so before even considering that in mind and listening to anyone else, consult a lawyer
Consult
that
a
you can
lawyer.
buy a property
Definitely.
right now or not.
Not, yeah.
That's really important.
Consult your situation, consult with the lawyer, consult with the realtor, and then the mortgage broker. All three have different roles in your real estate transaction. So let all three decide in the areas where their expertise are, and get confirmation from all three, and then move ahead. Rather than trying last minute on the
Yeah.
situation where sometimes you get stuck.
Yeah.
Right?
So that it depends on scenario to scenario if you would be able to do that or not,
Not, definitely.
right?
That's there.
And how about in terms if we look at the lawyer perspective in terms, so what are the things that you expect your client to do?
It's clients should keep their lawyer informed what their actual plans are about the property, the usage of the property. Like if like let's say in commercial properties, they should clearly discuss what kind of usage they're gonna take from that particular property, so that lawyer can check and see if that particular property could be used for the particular purpose for which the buyer is buying the property, right? Like people are buying properties like vacant lands for their yards, truck yards, uh, for their multiple businesses. It's better they should discuss those things with the lawyer first, so that their lawyer can confirm if that property could be used for that purpose or not.
Okay, so that the lawyer can check the zoning requirements and everything,
Zoning,
right?
yeah, that's
So
right.
before, that's why you're saying like always for the lawyer condition, review condition.
And in commercial, 100%, 110%, I will say. Never ever put a offer without lawyer's condition, in a lawyer review condition in a commercial purchase.
But what's the major reason for that? It's just what the
Because
zoning
there are
thing?
not zoning, there are a lot of other things that are involved, which a lawyer should take care of that part. At least if you have the condition, you can discuss the possibilities the problems which you might land into on the later date, so that you can take steps ahead of time rather than being landed into the problem.
Okay. And in terms of, I'm not sure if you do estate planning or that sort of thing.
No, I don't do estate
Or you
planning.
don't do
I
estate
don't
planning.
do it.
Okay.
So we are sticking particularly to four kind of laws.
Okay, four kind of laws. Okay. And the other thing I want to ask you, it's like if you can get me a step-by-step guide, what happens when a person meet a lawyer? Like, okay, initial conversation is done. I come to you, we discuss about, okay, I'm planning to buy this house, or I'm planning in this budget. I already spoke to the mortgage broker, real estate agent, I can get this. After that, I go there, I buy a property, I put an offer, I get it checked with the lawyer. After I get it checked, the mortgage approval, everything is done. Mortgage approval is done. Property has been got checked. Approval is done. Well, like the conditions have been removed. So what happens after that?
So that is something you have pretty much explained the whole process, and after that, what left is lawyer's job, which we deal with, and the clients really don't have to be involved in that part.
Okay.
And if everything goes on time, on track, the closing transaction completes
Okay.
well.
So it's basically that's something that you just need to hire the lawyer.
Yeah,
He's
let
gonna
the lawyer
take care of. Let the lawyer
let
do
the
all
lawyer
the
do
stuff.
their jobs.
You don't have to take more stress
More
about
stress,
it, right?
yeah.
Like the title search, everything.
No.
He's gonna
The
get
lawyer
you
is
covered.
there. That's why you are engaging a lawyer.
Okay.
That's his job. He will take care of that part.
So he's gonna get you covered. So
He's gonna-
that's the advice you need to
Yeah.
get. Hire a good lawyer
Yeah.
so that he can get everything covered with you.
Everything covered on time, and keep you well informed about the situations if there are any,
Okay.
right? And that's pretty much about the transaction.
That's pretty much about the real estate
estate, yeah.
transaction. So coming on to you, so so how did you decide? Okay, I want to be I want to be a lawyer first of all. Like
It's a long story. My father was a police officer. His aim was, like, his dream was to see his son as a lawyer. My dream was to become a politician, and I pursued both side by side back in India. And eventually, after coming to Canada, I am here into law field. Maybe in future, you never
Yeah,
know.
future what-
I might
yeah.
choose to go with my dream.
So you have fulfilled their dream, and now
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
it's time to follow yours.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's situation. You never know, the things might change, and anytime I might follow my dream again.
But is there something like when you help people, as an actually a lawyer concept is to help people who are in trouble.
Yeah.
So is there anything particular like is that something that gives you a kick in terms like, okay,
Definitely. It's like, I won't say anything out here what I have done and what not, but I have clients where it's kind of services. These are services. Definitely we get paid for it, but sometimes you do things for your personal satisfaction, for your personal growing up inner self, and there are multiple occasions that I have helped the people.
so that makes you happy basically.
That gives the
You sleep well
peace
when
of-
you go home, right?
best thing, best medicine. That's the best medicine. Like, I know we are here, we all are here into the professions to earn, make money, but I always suggest my colleagues that just a little, maybe 5% or 10%, keep doing for the community. It's not just bringing your name every time up. If you're doing something for the community, just keep your name on the side, do for your own satisfaction and for the well-being of the community. Contribute something.
I see a future politician here. Like the thing you can contribute towards the community, that's it, right? Like that's a major thing.
That's it's coming. The why I had that thing in my mind of being a politician. It's not just because being a politician gives me any kick or anything. It's just to serve the community, and you don't know, the things might
Yeah,
change or
yeah.
something in future. Let's see.
No, definitely. We're gonna see you there, and we're gonna support you as well for sure.
Thank you, thank you.
And what's an advice you can give to someone who is coming to Canada, or like who just came to Canada? In terms, you're 10 years down the line, people are like, the way you grow, the way your growth was, how successful you are, right? You're driving a car that you ever dreamed of, or someone dream car, right? You're living in a house that's someone's dream house. What's the one advice or couple of advice you can give it to someone who is looking to?
Yeah, definitely. So what I have learned in my life is that whatever you're doing, whatever, regardless, it's a very small job or a very big job, just do with your full heart, do with full passion, just stay truthful to the job which has been assigned to you by your employer or by yourself. Just stay truthful to that. Definitely, you will succeed one day.
Okay.
Definitely, what we call, your time will come.
Yeah. So it's like pure intention, consistency, hard work.
Hard work, and just stay truthful to the job.
Yeah. Be honest.
Yeah, be honest to yourself, because we see people like they work 10 hours, they get paid for 10 hours, but they work only for 5 hours. If somebody has assigned you a job, just do it properly. If you're working 8 hours, at least dedicate your complete 8 hours to the job, then you will be able to succeed in life.
So that's how you're gonna make an impact.
Yeah.
That's how.
That's like that builds your personality, the way you. It's gonna have impact on your future generations as well, because those are the moral things you're gonna pass on to your future generation, right? So if you are cheating at work, you are not doing your work properly, your kids gonna learn same thing, and see how that community will develop.
Yeah. And the one question is like pre-construction and resale. What's the difference in terms of?
Pre-construction, it's totally different from a resale, because in pre-construction you are entering into a contract for the property which is still not there. The builder is gonna build it, and definitely in pre-construction, the agreement, always review with your lawyer. Never ever think of just like lawyer is gonna charge your fees, let's just not. Or there's sometimes the realtors, they forces, there is no need to review it, just
It's a standard agreement, XYZ, right?
yeah. You might get offended the word I used, realtors,
No,
but
that's
yeah,
fine. Yeah. It
people who
happens
guide
in the
you.
industry, right? It
Yeah,
happens in the industry.
Yeah, it happens in there. So I will change my word, like the people who guide you.
But that's
Right.
fine. You can keep it realtor. I know I'm not doing that thing, so
Yeah.
you can keep it as a realtor.
Yeah,
We know
so-
that, right? It happens in our industry, right?
Yeah, I know it becomes a kind of peer pressure, that you are there, you sign it or you not without reviewing it with your lawyer. So it's always review it with your lawyers, so you become aware of the things which can come other than the purchase price, and also if the money you are giving into as deposits, are they even secure or not, where that money is going, all those things are mentioned in the contract.
So it's basically when a builder builds a contract, they safeguards their interest.
They're gonna safeguard their interest.
Yeah,
they are
they're
not
gonna-
there to safeguard buyer's interest.
No.
So buyer has to negotiate that contract.
Yeah, and it's a myth that you can't negotiate that contract. If you have a right realtor, he can negotiate that builder's contract as well.
As well, definitely. If not, like you're negotiating on 10 things, at least you can amend 5 things into your favor. So it's always better to review. If you have a good realtor, he himself will guide you that go to a lawyer, review your agreement with the lawyer, see if we can negotiate on few points which can turn into your favor.
Yeah, that can safeguard your interest as well, right? As a buyer.
Definitely.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to ask you is like, why shouldn't we put the money, like when we put a deposit amount, right? Why shouldn't we put into the seller's direct account, and we should put into a trust account? Either it could be a brokerage trust account or a lawyer trust account.
So For that, the thing is, if you give money directly to the seller, he can use the money. You cannot bound him that he cannot use the money if you give direct money to the seller. So it's always better, even in the private transactions, if people are doing private deals or something with their relatives or anyone or their friends. It's always better to give the deposits into either to the brokerage trust account or to the lawyer's trust account. At least your money is secure, safe there, and that can only be released on certain grounds.
Okay, and with the both the parties have agreed to release it, only
There are
then
multiple reasons.
Okay.
Both parties are agreeing. There are situations other than that as well when the transaction does not close. So there are multiple things, but at least you know your money is safe and
Save it.
secure.
And it's not getting used.
It's
in
not
terms
getting
of-
used.
So you can at least get the money back in case if anything falls off or something.
Yeah, there are multiple things, multiple grounds for that. But again, it depends on case to case.
But even if you're doing a private deal, whatever you're doing, make sure you're
Make
putting
sure
it into
seller's
trust account.
lawyer's trust account.
Okay.
That,
So that's a big thing.
big thing. Even if you're doing a private.
And what's the deposit amount you suggest in terms when we give an initial deposit?
Whatever a person is comfortable in. For if I'm representing the buyer, I will say whatever
the minimum you can,
possible.
the seller agrees, right?
Yeah, the minimum seller agrees to.
Yeah.
Never ever go for 200,000, 300,000. Like in resale properties, we are talking. Builders have their own
Commissions was the structure,
for the
deposit
deposits.
structure, right?
We don't have control over that. But yeah, for resale properties, just try to go by the minimum deposit, whatever the seller agrees to.
Yeah, because in industry standard, every seller wants a minimum 5% deposit. But as a buyer agent, we generally don't give it that much, right? So it's better the minimum
it's a part
money.
of negotiation. It's between seller's realtor versus buyer's realtor, who is able to convince whom.
Who is on the better end, basically, right? Like it depends on the market as well.
Market
right?
as well, yeah. Like market, there are few things, many things I will say, which in real estate depends on the current market. If it's a buyer's market or seller's market.
Okay.
So it depends on that. Few things are get decided by that.
And considering current market scenario, are you looking at like a lot of foreclosures and like say for sales by bank or the lenders?
There are a lot of foreclosures happening, and which is unfortunate. And I feel pity for those clients, for those people. But yeah, definitely in current market, there are foreclosures happening.
And is there a difference when you buying a foreclosure property or a property?
Yeah, there is more due diligence involved when buying a foreclosure property, and your lawyer should take care of that part. We won't be able to discuss all those things, but yeah, if you're buying a foreclosure property, discuss with your lawyer so that he can take the necessary steps.
Okay, so it's a different thing, right?
There are more due diligence parts which are involved in a foreclosure property.
So always consult a lawyer. Again, the same thing. Always consult a lawyer before doing anything in terms, right? So that don't
people
backbite you.
Like, don't rely on Google. Don't rely on Google. Google can provide you basic information, basic structure, but there are a lot more things which your lawyer can do, which your lawyer can negotiate on your part. So definitely I will suggest do your Google research. Go with those questions to your lawyer. Let the lawyer ask those questions.
That's a really useful and helpful information in terms, right? Thanks a lot, Mr. Balraj here for being here and taking some time off from your busy schedule. And thanks a lot.